What's up everybody? Welcome back to another New World video. My name is Earth Mode Dan, and today I want to give you 30 tips to help you become a better, more efficient and effective jewel crafter. Now, one of the first New World videos I released on this channel was documenting my experience becoming a jewel crafter. This was actually one of my most viewed videos, but it was very much a beginner's experience. Now, over the additional hours that I've put in since the game has been released, I have picked up more tips and developed my jewel crafting ability and knowledge, and I wanted to share that in today's video. So this will certainly be useful for intermediates. It will be very useful for beginners, and there's probably some advanced tips in here depending on what your opinion of advanced is. And I will look to break this video down into different categories to help structure this information so it's not too daunting and not all over the place. So hopefully that's helpful for you. So just to start, from my knowledge, there are 6 different ways to find gems. You can get them from supply crates, although it's pretty rare. You can get them from enemy drops. Again, it's not frequent. You can get them from treasure chests when fishing. You can buy them from players on the market or exchange them with company members or friends. You can get them from exhibitions, and probably the most effective way is to get them through mining different ores. So let's start then with some mining tips. So first tip then, and this is definitely one for beginners, is that you should be looking to focus leveling your mining skill. And you can do this from the off by breaking down boulders, by breaking down iron deposits. And once you get to level 10, you can start mining silver. Level 45, you can start mining gold. So you can quite quickly make your way up the levels in order to start accessing these more rarer ores, which will give you a better chance of actually finding rarer gems. Now, it's important to know that higher tier ores do have more chance of dropping higher tier gems. Now you got iron, silver, gold, star metal, platinum, and orichalcum. And as you get to orichalcum, that's the best potential of getting rarer gems. Iron, not so much. So you do need to be leveling your mining as quickly as possible in order to start to see the results of getting better gem drops. Now, one way of doing this is to bring the pickaxe that's right for your level, or the best pickaxe for your level, let's say. Once your character hits level 5, you can equip an iron pickaxe. At level 20, you can get a steel pickaxe. Level 40, star metal, and level 60, orichalcum. Now, the benefits of having these different pickaxes is that you can mine ores quicker. So an iron pickaxe will increase your mining speed up to 125%. Steel 250%, and so on and so forth. So as you can start to see, you can break down these materials a lot quicker, and it will allow you to collect different ores so much faster, increasing the opportunity of you getting more gems as well. Now, the next tip I would say is to make sure you're equipping a pickaxe which has additional luck and additional yield. Now, I found my pickaxe on the market. It was not too expensive, but what it does is it increases my chance of getting gems from mining ores, and it increases the materials that I get from these ores as well. So really great perks to add to your pickaxe. Next, kind of related to that, is to equip a bag that allows you to carry more weight or more mining ores, and there are a bunch of different options for this. You can get the Prospector's Burden perk, you can get the Quarryman's Burden, or extra pockets, all of which will allow you to carry more and therefore allow you to kind of take back to the settlement more ores and potentially more gems when you go on your gathering run. Now, the next tip would be to eat potato dishes to increase your luck. There are different levels of potato dishes, which will increase your luck from 1,000 points all the way up to 2,000 points, and for 20 minutes all the way up to 40 minutes. So depending on what potato dishes you're able to access, you can increase your luck by a varying amount, but it's definitely worthwhile. The next thing to do to increase your luck would be to equip armor that has reinforced mining luck as a perk. This will again increase your luck when mining, giving you a greater opportunity of collecting gems from ores. And finally, you want to be adding mining trophies to your house, which are effective worldwide. And there are 3 different trophies available. So you can get each one of these in order to kind of stack your chances of getting these gems. Okay, so next set of tips, which is all about finding ores. The first thing to do would be to learn how to read a map, because ores are found in the highlands, and you can discover where the highlands are by pressing M to open your map and then navigating to the left-hand side where you'll see resource locations. You can then identify where the highlands are, and then this will give you a clear indication of where you'll be able to start discovering ores. Now, from my experience, you can see iron ores pretty much anywhere within the highlands area. They are quite noticeable, big, black, kind of chunky rocks, whereas silver is usually found on the rocky areas surrounding the highlands. I think these are marked on the map as impassable areas. So I normally plan a route which circles the highlands and creates a loop so I can continue to go around in order to discover not only iron but silver ores quite quickly. The other thing to do is you can find high density and a variety of ores at mining areas of interest, such as Mines de Miklot in Monarch's Bluff. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but we're going to go with it. And Cavalry Mine in Everfall. So again, identify these mining areas on the map and then plan your route to pass by one or more of these. I will go out and plan a route and then not come back to the settlement until I've filled my bags purely with these materials. The next tip then would be to track ores using your compass. Now you can start tracking iron once you hit mining skill level 25. You can track silver at level 35 and you can track gold at level 70. Now this has really helped me increase my gathering speed because it allows you to identify ores within the vicinity that you can't necessarily see just by scanning the area. So that's a really, really helpful tool. And I would really recommend always keeping an eye on your compass when you're going out looking for ores and for gems. Now, I tend to go out on a 20-25 minute run and I'll come back with a bag full of iron, silver, and gold, as well as about 10 gems. And if you want to level up your jewel crafting, you just go back and forth on multiple runs per day. Right, okay, let's take a breather. Just to say, if you're enjoying the video so far, please like it because it will help other people to also find the video. And do consider subscribing, especially if you're into jewel crafting, if you're interested in cooking. Also, I'll be making a fishing video coming very soon as I level up my fishing abilities and my knowledge there. And I'm also really interested in the lore of the game. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe. And yeah, let's move on to the next set of tips. Here we'll be focusing on other methods of finding gems. Now we've touched on them already, but I just want to go a little bit deeper. Exhibitions are probably the second most effective way of getting gems, and good gems at that. So don't sleep on this. I recommend going on as many exhibition runs as you can. So probably once per day or once per gaming session, because you can find a large number of gems in a fairly short amount of time. And they're normally good level gems as well. So definitely go on the exhibitions and take advantage of that. Next is fishing at hotspots. Now you can occasionally pick up treasure chests which have a few gems in them. I leveled up my fishing and focused on my fishing just to kind of test this theory. At level 16, I found my first treasure chest, and within that there were 3 to 4 gems. So it's not as effective as kind of the exhibitions or mining per se, but if you are a fisherman and you're jewel crafting, then it's a potential to get more gems. Now, the other way which we've talked about is to ask your friends and company members for materials, for metals, for gems, for these equipments and armors which have luck infused in them, in exchange for trinkets that you've made and gems that you've cut. And This just kind of, again, increases your speed at which you can collect items, so you're not just depending on yourself in order to pick up all these materials required for the jewel crafting craft. Okay, and then the way in which I collect a lot of these items myself is by using the marketplace. So I buy a lot of my gathering equipment in order to make sure I'm finding the right perks. I've also picked up a bag from the marketplace, even though that was very expensive, but it allowed me to carry more items and more weight. On the other hand, food is something I make myself because I'm quite a high level cook at the moment, and I can make all the potato dishes that I need. I know the locations of these ingredients and so on and so forth. So if you are not able to make or find the materials yourself, don't be afraid to go to the marketplace. So next set of tips, we'll be talking about crafting. Now, the first thing you want to be doing is taking all this stone that you've collected from leveling up your mining and using the stone cutting table to level up your skill up to level 50 by creating stone and then stone blocks. The reason you'll want to do this is because once you start acquiring tier 3 gems, you'll need to be stone cutting level 50 in order to use these. Once you get tier 4 gems, you'll need to be level 100, and tier 5 gems level 150. So it is important to continue to level your stone cutting along the way in order to actually be able to use these gems that you pick up. The other thing that you want to be leveling is your arcana, because once you get to tier 3 gems, you'll want to make tier 3 trinkets. And in order to do that, you'll need wisps. Now, wisps are made at the Arcania station, and you'll need to be level 25 in order to start making these wisps. Now, I made the mistake of not knowing this, and therefore I got to level 50 jewel crafting and stone cutting, but was not able to make these trinkets because I didn't have level 25 Arcana in order to make these wisps. I was quite fortunate because I had a lot of materials which I could use to quite quickly level up. And I did this by making magic weapons and ice gauntlets because you get a lot of XP for those. The materials you need for that are iron, leather, wood, and motes. I actually didn't have enough leather or wood, so I just went outside, chopped down a bunch of trees, killed a bunch of animals, and was able to then make enough of these weapons to get me to level 25 within 20 minutes. So it was super quick, but a tip would just be to do this along the way because you can actually use the Arcana station to create potions, which I wasn't doing. I was relying predominantly on food and drops. Once you get to level 25, you can make these wisps. These wisps are made of 5 motes. In order to make 1 air wisp, you would need 5 air motes, so on and so forth. So really important not to sleep there on the Arcana skill because you will need that once you get into the more interesting part of the jewel crafting, which is level 50 and upwards. Next, in order to level your jewel crafting to level 50, I recommend just bulk crafting these tier 2 trinkets, even if you can't use or sell them. So these flawed gems are actually pretty useless because they're not going to give anyone the gear score that they want. The trinkets or the amulets that you get from the quests are much better than any that you'll be able to craft. So the tier 2 trinkets and the flawed gems are really there just to help level your jewel crafting in order to get you to level 50, where you can start making the rings, so on and so forth. In order to get to jewel crafting level 50, which is where you can make these tier 3 trinkets, you'll need to craft 51 amulets. So that means 51 gems in total. So as you can see, if you're able to collect 10 gems on a run, if you're efficient and effective, then you can do this within 5 to 6 runs, so long as you're collecting enough silver and motes along the way as well. So you can get to level 50 quite quickly, so long as you're very focused on the gathering element of jewel crafting. Now, the other tip I'll give you is not to add any craft mods when you're crafting tier 2 trinkets, because at the end of the day, people are not going to buy them. As I mentioned, they're not high enough gear score for people to be interested. So they're not effectively going to be used. So don't waste your craft mods. So keep them back for higher tier trinkets that you craft from tier 3 upwards. When you do get to that point where you can use these craft mods, make sure you're using the right craft mod for the gem that you've got. So it's important to have a gem resource page up so you know exactly what each gem does, which will allow you to select the right craft mod in order to really maximize the potential of the trinket and the ring that you're making. Okay, next you will need a minimum of a level 3 outfitting station to start making rings. So make sure the settlement that you're in isn't preventing you from doing so. I'm currently in Monarch's Bluff where my outfitting station is level 2. So I'm going to have to transfer all my goods to another settlement which has a higher tier outfitting station in order to start making rings, which is a bit of a pain, which shows you that the company in charge of the settlement is not prioritizing jewel crafting. Therefore, you need to go to a place that is. So take your money and take all your goods over to them and stop investing in a settlement that isn't investing in you. Okay, next then, you also want to be leveling your harvesting in order to get motes from alchemy plants. Now, alchemy plants are gatherable from level 30 and they're trackable on the compass at level 45. And you can level up quite quickly just by harvesting any hemp and any herbs that you see along the way. And then you can start picking up motes from these plants. And then connected to that, you want to be mining the alchemy stones to get motes from them, which are also needed for gem cutting. These are gatherable at level 50 and tracked at level 75. Wow. Okay, there you go. They are the 30 plus tips. If you can count how many there are, please comment down below because I lost count along the way. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like it if you did. Subscribe if you're new and you're interested in jewel crafting. If you're interested in cooking, there'll also be a fishing video. I'm leveling up my fishing at the moment, trying to learn as much about that as possible. And until next time, peace out, make good choices.